Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're playing around with this new Tecsun S-8800. It's kind of growing on me. I'm getting to like it more and more. The only drawback that I've seen so far is that bleed over from the medium wave band, and that's partially due to the fact that we've got a lot of strong medium wave stations where I live. Matter of fact, there's a couple, like 3 or 4 within 10 miles of my house, and they can really mess up the shortwave band. But I've shown you that that can be solved by a simple external filter. And right now I'm hooked up to my G5 RV antenna. It's 108 feet, I think. External antenna, about 20 feet in the air at the peak. And in this show, I want to kind of talk about some of the unique features of this radio. It has a lot of unique features. Now, before I even do that, let me tell you a little bit about cost. When you first look up this radio, you go, man, that is an expensive radio. Well, it's not really when you consider the functions and the quality of the radio. Now, my Grundig 750, I got on sale when Amazon had it on sale. This was 3 or 4 years ago. I got it for $235. Right now on Amazon, it's $321 for the 750. Now, there's a replacement, equivalent, theoretically, model, which is the S-2000. Looks pretty much identical to the 750. And you can get that one where I got this one, which is anon.co, -co.com, ANON-CO.com. That's where I got that radio. They sent me this radio for a review. It presently is $268. So you think that's a lot, but they also have the S-2000, similar to the 750, for $289, $20 more. And I would say, with the exception of that medium wave bleed over, this radio, the S-8800, has more features, and it's kind of an upgrade to the 750. Excuse me. So I'm going to talk about a few of the functions that I've read across on this radio. One of them is that the similar radio to this, which is like the S350 DL, didn't have, which is this fine tuning knob right here, right there. Those radios in that era didn't have this fine tuning knob. And one of the reasons you have a fine tuning knob is this radio will tune single sideband, which the 350 would not. So that's one thing. What I was listening to when I started this video is 3.330, which is the time signal from Canada. I usually don't get that. Again, I'm using an external antenna, so that's coming in pretty good, and it was even better before I started recording. The other thing about this radio that I wish the 750 had is this remote. I mean, this is really nice. Excuse me. One of the problems I have with the 750 is reaching over and pushing the buttons. Plus, I also sometimes have a little problem reading the buttons. With this, I can hold this remote up close and I can easily read it. Plus, they're easy to read to begin with. So this is the selling point for me for this radio, is this remote. And it does everything. It's not like some simple remote. It does everything, including you can direct dial a frequency using the remote, using the numeric buttons there. You can do the ATS function, automatic tuning and storing function. You could do all kinds of things. Change the volume, scan. It's unbelievable. You can change the modes. When you're in single sideband, you can change it to upper and lower sideband. I could spend a whole show just on this remote. And they have a nice page in their manual that shows you the remote and all the functions. Unbelievable. So that's one thing that really sets this radio apart, that remote. Now, one thing a little quirky about the remote, it's just something you have to understand, is that the volume controls is, how can I say this? What you do is you set the volume to the max that you can tolerate, so to speak. I don't know how to say it any better than that. On the radio, using this knob right here. Then on the remote, you can lower the volume from that point. At first, I thought, I was playing with the remote and I was like trying to turn the volume up, and I didn't have this volume knob on the radio set very high. I was like, man, this thing doesn't have much volume. Well, that's because this knob was kind of set low. And so I read the manual, and it says, hey, turn this volume up to something beyond what you would normally listen to, and then use the remote to turn it down. So that's a little quirk. Not a problem, just something you got to remember. Let's see what else I have on my notes. Oh, the ATS function for shortwave. On my 750, I only have 100 memory channels. So when I'm doing that automatic tuning and storing and searching for frequencies, strong frequencies, be they noise or be they stations, it quickly runs out of memory locations before it even gets to 31 meters, because it picks up a lot of noise down in the lower bands. So that limitation of only 100 channels really screws up the ATS function on the 750. And I don't believe, and I'd have to go back to the manual, I don't believe that you can tell it to only do the scan on a certain international meter band, which you can do on this radio. This one has, like the Tecsun 660, it has two auto scan modes. One, you auto scan the entire shortwave band, and two, you scan only the meter band you're in, the radio's in when you start to scan. So therefore, if you only want to scan, let's say like the 31 meter band and not use up all your memory, then you can do that. The other detail about that is in the full scan mode, I'll call it, it erases the memory locations. So whatever you had in there before, they're gone. In the other mode, where you're scanning just one meter band, and let me just verify that because I get confused which is which. Okay, mode A and mode B. Mode B is you select the meter band that you want to scan. When using ATS function in the shortwave mode B, previous stored stations will not be replaced. So you don't lose those stations that you've picked up before or that you've manually put in. If you do the full shortwave scan, it wipes them out. So that's another little nicety and difference, detail of this radio. The frequency band for shortwave that it can scan is the entire shortwave, what's called the entire shortwave band. That's 1.6 711 to 29.999 megahertz. Covers the full band. Now, I don't remember if, and I'm going to check it right now, I don't remember when you do that full scan of all the shortwave, if it only is scanning the international broadcast bands. I don't think that's true, which is, to me, that's an annoyance that some of the other radios that have that ATS type function, they only scan the international broadcast bands. So they skip over part of the shortwave bands. Let me just try ATS right now. I'm going to use the button here, or I could use it on the remote. Here, if I use this button, it's going to do the entire scan. So it's starting at 2.2 something. I missed it. So it didn't start at 1.7. Now let me see if it jumps. Yes, it did jump. So it is only scanning, like other radios, it's only scanning the international broadcast bands. So you're losing out a little bit. I was hoping it would scan everything since it has 250 memory locations it can use for this, but it doesn't. Let me watch it again. 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, 6, 6.1, 6.2. And it jumped. It jumped. Okay, all the way up to 6.2, and then it jumped to the next meter band. Okay, so that answers that question. Now, what else did I have down here? Two methods. Like I said, the memory, it has memory storage for each band. So, for instance, the shortwave band, it has 250 memory storage locations. For single sideband shortwave, it has an additional 100. In total, you have, for all the bands, medium wave, long wave, whatever, you have 650. So it's got a lot of memory storage. So that's another detail of this radio. I think that's all I wanted to cover in this particular show. Again, I'm pretty much sold on this radio, even though, you know, it's in the higher price radios, but you know, you want more, you're going to have to pay more. And right now, if I had to buy a radio, one of these two radios today, because of the price of the 750 or the replacement 2000 has gone up. Like I say, I paid $235 or $245. What did I say? $235. I paid $235 for mine. It was on sale on Amazon. Actually, I think one of my subscribers bought it for me. So anyway, back to what I was trying to say. Gosh, I jabber so much. If I had to choose right now, today, between these two radios, the price is going to be about the same for me in my location, because I really need that medium wave filter for this radio in my location because of that bleed over. So I'm going to have to add, I'll round it up and I'll say an additional $20 for that filter. So that brings the price, instead of $268, it brings it to $288. $288. So they're about the same price. So price-wise, they're about the same right now, today. And if I have to add that filter, if you don't have that problem, you can deduct that, and it's $268. So there's about $20 difference. I would choose this radio, even with the medium wave bleed over, which I can fix with a filter. I would choose this radio. It has more memory. It has the remote. This is a deal maker for me. And probably the circuitry is newer circuitry in this radio. Plus it has other functions that I haven't even touched on. And it does a good job of reception. I think I've proved to myself that it's about the equivalent. yeah, I think I would buy this one. So hopefully that's provided you with some additional information to decide. Now, the drawback for me, if you buy one of these, is I don't get a commission, because right now, to my knowledge, you can only get these. Well, put it this way: you can't get them on Amazon. Amazon, for some reason, doesn't carry them. I don't know why, but you can get them from ANON-CO. You can get them from them, and go for it. Make them a nice Christmas present for yourself. Right? Okay. If you enjoyed this show, despite my speech impediments, please give me a thumbs up. That tells me I'm providing shows that you're interested in. You know, sometimes you do a show and it's like useless. Nobody can use it. You do a crappy job of it. I try not to do that. I try not to do shows that are of no value. Again, if you want to buy a different radio than this one, you can go to my Amazon store. The link to my Amazon store is in the description below. Oh, you could buy the filter if you have that problem through my Amazon store. I have the filter, the $17 filter. And I get a small commission for the sales. And you can buy anything once you go to my website, or Amazon's website, which is mine, which is theirs, and buy anything, and I get a small commission on whatever it is. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.